the Game of Life podcast coming at you, where we bring to you the behind-the-scenes lives of NBA players, business-savvy entrepreneurs, and top-level performers in all fields of personal development. The podcast that helps you become the best version of you. The Game of Life, David Nurse. Here we go. We have a very special one for you today. I think all of you probably know of him. I've watched him play, of course, and have followed his amazing path in the NBA. And I'm beyond blessed to be able to call him a great friend and someone I think exemplifies everything good about professional sports and the way athletes should be. The best role model in the NBA, one of the most caring, giving, philanthropical players, and just overall people that I know. A guy who is literally the essence of the underdog story and someone who plays for a greater purpose than himself. Should I keep the suspense building? The Game of Life podcast welcomes Jeremy Lin. We're about to dive deep behind the scenes with Jeremy and join him on the roller coaster ride that was Linsanity, learn his secrets of how he improves himself every single day, and a rapid fire round of questions heard nowhere else other than here on the Game of Life. Gotta tell you about our sponsor today, Mitchell & Ness, the hippest, swaggiest, just straight up coolest gear there is on the market. And it's what all the NBA players are wearing. If you see basically any hat that any of these players are wearing after the NBA Finals or wherever they're wearing it at, it's Mitchell & Ness. Any throwback jerseys? Yep, that's them too. Basically, if you want to take your gear game up another level, check out Mitchell & Ness. You get Steve Nash throwbacks, probably even a Jalen Harvard throwback, maybe even Palo Alto, old school, high school. Check them out at mitchellandness.com, and when you pick up your swag, enter the code NURSE at checkout and receive 20% off your entire purchase. But gotta act fast. Offer ends July 15th. Telling you, if you want style this summer, which I hope you do, and the style that all the NBA players are wearing, get on Mitchell & Ness. At the Game of Life, we're all about helping you become the best version of you that you can be. Helping you find joy in every day, find your life calling and purpose, and just live an awesome, adventurous, exciting life. And that's what we want to bring to you, and that's what's coming to you right now with Jeremy Lin. Here we go. All right. Welcome back to the Game of Life podcast. We've got Jeremy Lin on. Jeremy, what's going on?
What's up? How are you?
Doing well, man. Doing well. Let's fire right into this thing. Just fill us all on a background, just like where you grow up, some childhood memories that might stand out. Just little Jeremy.
Some childhood memories that stand out. I feel like maybe for my childhood, the thing I really remember is just being able to spend a lot of time with my family. We were like a super family-oriented family, so we were always like doing things together, hanging out together. Maybe some of my most memorable memories from my childhood. I'm trying to think. I mean, there's so many.
Yeah, I know that's tough. I mean, let's see.
You mean from a basketball standpoint, or
any standpoint? You got two brothers, so you obviously had battles on the court in the backyard.
Yeah, we've had a lot of battles, but honestly, what I remember most is probably like what we accomplished together.
That's cool.
On the court, because I feel like we did accomplish a lot of different things on the court together. And even though, in the grand scheme of things, it's not that important, but for us, it meant a lot. So it was like a big deal back then. So that was, I would say maybe one example of that is we were on this first place team in some rec league. And then they switched me and my older brother to like the last place team that everybody would always just destroy. And at that time I was playing with my older brother, so I was playing 3 years up, which I guess like I was like way smaller than everybody else, so I didn't have like that much confidence. Like I had a lot of confidence in my older brother. I don't know how much confidence I had in myself. But then we were able to like turn it around and win. Like we took the last place team and ended up winning the whole thing, and we beat our old team in the championship game. So that was a memorable moment for me. Obviously, we remember all of the outdoor battles that we had, just every single day and things like that.
That's cool. I mean, and you're the middle child, so you got to pick on one younger brother, right?
Yeah, I mean, we were really close growing up, so we definitely fought a lot. But like when it came to basketball, we didn't really like.
That's cool.
Yeah. I mean, there are times where we get into it, but for the most part, like because we were 4 years apart, and I was so much bigger and taller, so like it wasn't as much of a rivalry as maybe me and my older brother. Like when me and my older brother would play, I would always be a little bit worse than him, so I'd always be chasing his shadows. For me and my little brother, it was more like I wanted to teach him or help him or like. So it was a different dynamic.
Man, that's cool. That's cool. You're a way better older brother than I was to my younger brother. That's for sure. I wouldn't let him win at anything, man. 4 years younger, wouldn't let him win at anything. So what triggered you when you were younger to just love playing basketball, getting out there every day, like just the passion that you had? What triggered that?
Honestly, there's like. It's kind of one of those things where you don't really know how to explain it. It's just like when I play, I feel like my analogy I always use is like when I play, I feel like I'm like a freed bird to some degree. Like
nice.
It just feels like I'm like, I don't know. It just feels like this is what I was supposed to do, or it just feels like no matter what's going on, like. Off the court, when you get on the court, like you will always be in that moment. You will always be present in that game. Like I won't be thinking about anything else because like the game takes my mind off of it. So it's been like very therapeutic in a lot of ways, which I appreciate. And also just is one of those things where ever since I was a little kid, I couldn't ever put a ball down. Like I can't explain why.
Yeah.
I mean, if I could really think about it, I just love like the game. Like I love how the game is designed. I love like the essence of the game, but then I also really love the teamwork. Like I'm not an individual sport type of person.
I agree.
I couldn't ever play like an individual sport.
Nope. Yep. You ever play golf? That's exactly it. Too much of a mental game. Yeah, that's really cool. I hear what you're saying on that, where it's just like basketball is part of you. It's just in your blood. You never really think about, okay, this is when I started playing. This is why I started playing. It's just who you are and what you do.
Yeah.
Really
and
like
having brothers too. Having brothers makes it so that you like want to do things with people, and you have like a loyalty factor and a family element. And so I can't imagine doing a sport where you're not like on a team.
Yeah, that's camaraderie. That's really cool. Well, cool. Good background. Grew up in Palo Alto, out in Brooklyn now. Looking at routines, we're real big on routines and developing habits to structure your day and make you a better version of who you are every single day. And I know you're big on that as well. What's like your morning routine look like? I'm not saying your morning can start at 11 a.m., which I know it has in the past.
Started at 1 p.m. in the past.
There you go. Before noon now, making progress.
Yeah, I feel like my morning routine in general is it depends. Like I try to get up and do my Devo first thing in the morning, but that doesn't always happen. In most situations, I don't do it first thing in the morning because I know that, like, for example, if I have practice at like 9 or 10, I'll be back by like, I'll know I'll be back by like noon. Or if I have shoot around on a game day, which is, including preseason, like 90 days out of my year.
Right.
It's like a quarter of my year. Like in those situations, I like to do it before the game. So I save it until like I wake up from my pregame nap, and then I do my Devo. But usually if I'm not doing my Devo, then I'm just getting up and getting going and getting to my first whatever commitment of the day.
And by Devo, for everybody out there, you meaning devotional.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's, I meant like a devotional where I just read some of the Bible. Sometimes I journal a little bit. Sometimes
Awesome,
I try to read like there's like so I try to read the scripture, but then sometimes there's like supplemental texts for like devotional books or something. So sometimes I'll go through one of those. I'll journal. I have a prayer journal and then like a personal journal. So like it depends if I want to like jot down some prayer requests for myself or other people, or if I want to like write down some things that God has been challenging me with or teaching me with. And then sometimes I'll do like some praise, like I'll sing a worship song or two, and then I try to get in some solid prayer too, and just I just try to like converse like I would be to one of my friends. So I just try to like have a normal conversation through prayer.
That's a really cool outlook. That's like I know your faith is a huge part of who you are. Me too. Just being able to start your day on a note like that, talking with God, and it seems like when I do it, it always seems weird. Like I want Him to answer directly back to me, but I mean, after I do it, even if I don't hear anything from Him, it's just such a freeing presence and such a perspective builder to start the day with.
Yeah, I'm like you. Like it's like I want to hear something back right away,
Yeah.
but I feel like it's like the way that God speaks in my life is so different. Like He speaks in so many different ways, and sometimes it's like He'll send a scripture like 7 times in like 1 week, or sometimes it'll be like a super insanely timely conversation or a timely email, or sometimes it's just actually seeing what I prayed for like come to fruition in my life. And sometimes like the timing of it, like I'll have put off praying for something for a while and then I'll finally pray for it. And then like later that day, something will happen. So it's really interesting to see like how He responds. And I think the more I get older, I realize like prayer is not even just about like what you want or what you need. Like a lot of prayer should be based on like praise and just like adoration and just being thankful for who God is. And that kind of like sets the foundation or the tone for the rest of my prayers.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you on that. I'm trying to line up in the mornings. I'll put a chair out in front of me and just imagine like God's there sitting with me and just having a conversation with Him.
Yeah.
It helps. It's tough to stay in the moment, but yeah, I'm with you. Like I always want things on my time and on my plan, but it always ends up so much better once everything comes together, comes to fruition. It's like, oh, this is what He had planned for me.
Exactly.
Why was I worrying? Why was I being anxious about anything? This is what He has planned. It's cool,
Yeah,
man.
all my greatest like disappointments were actually like somehow type of setup for like an even bigger moment. Like, if you think about Linsanity, it was like
Exactly.
before that, like getting cut twice, like those type of things like were all like set up, like going undrafted and then becoming a free agent, or like not making it to Stanford and like not getting recruited the way I wanted to, and then like going on to Harvard. Like these are all like huge disappointments in my life, but ended up like setting up something way bigger.
And see, yeah, that's a huge amount of faith because basically, no one really gave you a chance. Everybody knows the story and Linsanity, and no one gave you a chance to be in the league really, and basically like an underdog story, and having that faith to not want to give up and not want to give in. That's all on Him. So I think that like any challenge and any obstacle He throws our way, He thinks you're just that much stronger because He knows that you can overcome it. Like He's not going to throw anything your way that He doesn't think you can overcome.
Yeah. And I think through time, you just like, or at least for me, it wasn't always like automatic, like, oh, I just trust God. It's like,
yeah.
No, it's definitely not the situation. But like,
Right.
Once I like spend some, like through time, like it's like, I'm like, I've been through this enough times. Like, I don't need to stress about this.
How was that? How was that adjustment period when you got to New York and went through that whole Linsanity?
I would say that the two biggest like my two big takeaways from that was just, I remember thinking to myself, man, like it's pretty crazy, like just how like in some ways how fleeting it was. Because it was like, I remember like all I was saying to myself was just be like just get to the point where like you're an NBA, a solid NBA player, like where you're just like an NBA player, like a solidified NBA player. And like that was my main goal, right? Like that's all I was thinking about was like becoming that.
Right.
And then once I got that, it was just like on to the next thing, you know. It's like now I have new goals and new things I'm shooting for, and like I've just felt like there was like this, I was in this like vicious like cycle of like constantly trying to achieve more. And I remember there were moments in the middle of that time where I actually felt like very empty. I think that's one of my big takeaways. And then I think the other big takeaway that really like helped me was just like learning, like having been blessed with so much, or this amazing platform, like learning how to let go of it in the sense of like trusting God with it. Cause I feel like I had a hard time letting go.
Yeah.
And that's why I dealt with like severe anxiety at times, and like anxiety to the point of like, you know, tears, which, you know, for me is a big deal. Like I think in the last like 7 years, I've cried maybe like 3 times or something. And they were all like, I think 3 of them were like related to basketball, and one of them was related to like a family situation. So it's like, I don't know. It's like there was a lot of anxiety that I was going through, and I felt like learning to give that up or learning to let go of that was like something that I really needed to do. And it wasn't like I did this amazing like thing where I was just constantly like surrendering to God. Like it was more like I was like holding on very tightly to my career and to my life, and God was like prying it out of my hands. And through that process, like I slowly learned how to trust God.
Man, I can't even imagine. I mean, it seems like such an overwhelming feeling to have all that thrown on you, and everybody would see it from the outside being like, oh, it's got to be the greatest thing there is. But I mean, when you're not able to, like you talked about earlier, how basketball just keeps you in the present, just enjoying the present moment. It's almost like you got to be looking at, man, what's coming next? I got to hit this goal. I got to hit this target. And you don't enjoy the moment.
Yeah, there's a lot of it's just a lot harder than everyone kind of understands.
Man, I've seen you grow a ton, though. I mean, like anytime we're out or anything, and someone asks for your autograph or a picture, and you seem super comfortable with it. And what I think is awesome is I've never seen you turn anybody down, no matter what type of day you've had, no matter how long the day's been, anything I've never seen you turn anyone down. I think that speaks volumes to that.
I appreciate it. There were times when I would, but I think like I've learned through the years too, like you said. But yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, just telling it how it is, and it looks like too, like you're just comfortable with yourself on the court too. Comfortable with, I mean, maybe like in New York, it was that hot moment in the Lakers. It was back and forth and everything, but in last season when you were healthy and when you were going at Charlotte, you just look comfortable, like one of the top point guards in the league, comfortable.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I think it's just in the evolution and growth of my, like, just trusting in my abilities and knowing, like, this is what makes me successful and sticking to that.
It's big time, man. Talking about that and routines and staying at the highest level, how do you make sure that you stay sharp? How are you looking to improve yourself every day and staying ahead of the competition? Because the NBA is unbelievably cutthroat, as you know. It's one opportunity here, one opportunity there, and it could all be different. So how are you always looking to keep a leg up?
I think just consistency, like
nice.
Working hard consistently is kind of like always been like a big like thing for me. Like I just feel like the people who do it like consistently over a longer period of time, like they like at some, because I feel like for me that's how it always was. Like I was always like, I was never like the best at anything like growing up. Like it was very rare that I was like the best, you know. So it was like all right, well, I got to catch these dudes, but how am I going to catch these dudes? It's like,
Yeah.
I need to just consistently like put in time to try to like catch them. And I guess that's like what I was just trying to focus on is like gradual improvement, like steady improvement. And then like maybe like after like X amount of time, like I'll be able to, I'll be able to catch them per se or whatever.
That's cool to hear because that's basically what it is. And we're talking about relationship with Christ too. It's just it's nothing happens boom overnight. Like everybody would have seen the Linsanity happen overnight, but it's the consistency. It's a consistency in the work ethic you put in the off season, which I'm gonna have to give you another pat on the back too, man. You work harder than almost any, and probably harder than any NBA guy I've seen. It's really refreshing to see how much you put it in and put it in constantly and consistently on the daily.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool.
The fun part, man.
That is the fun part. The grind is the fun part. You enjoy the journey. I like that.
Yeah.
So what would you give a young kid who would be in your shoes, who would be in that underdog type of shoes that might not be the most athletic, the tallest, basically like a little version of David, of myself, unathletic. No, but has the passion and he wants to achieve his goals. What kind of advice would you give to them?
I think my advice would really be like, first, like, appreciate the game, because I feel like my natural tendency has always been to like, figure out like I feel like I'm a very like big picture person, so like I get caught up in the moment a lot, like in terms of like I'm like, oh, I'm not where I need to be, like, and I would stress about that. So like enjoying the moment is something that I've learned to do, and then I think like and enjoying the game, and then I think just like trusting. I don't know how to say it. Trusting that you belong, believing that you belong.
That's good. It's really good.
I think that's like really important because like there's so many people like who like really like they stop themselves from being the best like version of themselves, and maybe you might never be like better than player X, but like at least be like the best version of yourself is kind of like what I would always try to impart on a kid. And then like work on your weaknesses, like sometimes like young kids like don't enjoy working on their weaknesses because it's like
it's uncomfortable.
It's like it's like, man, I'm not good. I think there's like a switch in my mind because I used to be like that. Like I didn't use my left hand ever, so it's like I never want to work on my left hand.
Yeah.
But there was a switch in my mind when like for the first time I took something that I was bad at and I turned it into like a strength. And like when you do that, there's like so much like joy in it. So there's like a lot of like joy in being able to do that. And like I think that's like something that I really like appreciated. And I think like you've seen that in my career where it was like when I first came out, it was like all I can do is drive right, and then like actually 2 seasons ago in Charlotte, my left hand was driving left was more efficient than driving right. And then like with my jump shot, it was like, like he can't shoot, like just let him shoot. And then like I feel like now it's to the point where it's like guys are running me off the 3-point line and not letting me get that open shot. And so I think there's like, I don't know, there's just like a lot of like a joy, I guess, in being able to take your perceived weaknesses and turn them into strengths.
Man, I think you hit that spot on. That's exactly why you're coaching with me when you're done playing. Like those points right there. Confidence. No. Yeah, you are. There's no choice. There's no debate.
I'm not coaching when I'm done. I don't know why you keep thinking that.
Because if I say it enough times, it's going to just get burned in your brain and become subconscious. And when you retire, you're like, okay, what do I got next? Oh, yeah, that's what David said. Okay, I'm with it. No, that's cool. That's really cool advice. That's what I see a lot in kids is lack of confidence. And if someone tells them they can't do something, then they're like, oh, okay, if he said it, I can't do it. But it's complete belief in yourself and being empowered by, man, I'm not good at this. I should probably work on this. And making the weaknesses strengths. It's cool, man. Perfect.
For sure.
Whew. How about that for motivational? I mean, you see it from the outside as the underdog story, coming from nothing, overlooked, and then having the moment like Linsanity of being just a global icon, but then still seeing the internal struggles with that and how he's given it up to God and how he just trusts God in all circumstances. And it's just a great role model for every kid out there, for every person out there. And he was being modest when he said he's turned people down for autographs or pictures before. I've seen him lined up in restaurants right before he's going to eat or after a loss in a game, and he's just the nicest guy, most genuine person that there is. We'll get back to the rapid fire section with Jeremy coming up here soon, where we just put him on a hot seat and just pepper him with questions. But right now, it is time for the 3-pointers of the week. I know I said I would do my top 3 NBA players of all time this week, but we're going to postpone that a week and keep the feedback and votes coming in, which I really appreciate the great response that I have gotten. A lot of MJ votes out there, but we'll see. Keep them coming at DavidNurse05 on Twitter, DavidNurse5 on Instagram, or hit me an email anytime, all in the show notes. Love to hear from you all. All right, with Jeremy on the podcast and the great underdog motivational story that it is, we are going to keep it rolling with the top 3 underdog stories of all time in sports, individually, not including Jeremy, who I think is definitely up there. All right, here we go. Number 3, to the NFL, we're going Kurt Warner. Undrafted and went from begging groceries at Hy-Vee grocery store in Iowa to winning the Super Bowl with the St. Louis Rams. Actually, I played golf with him when he was playing in the Arena League of the Iowa Barnstormers the year before he went to St. Louis. So I'm pretty much taking credit for all his success after he got his confidence dominating me at golf. But no, one of the best underdog stories there is, from an undrafted small school in Iowa, working at a grocery store, to an MVP and winning Super Bowls. Number 2, we're actually going to stay in the NFL, and with the quarterback theme, we're going Tom Brady. All right, if you haven't watched the Brady 6 documentary, get on that right now. It's the most motivational story of determination, grit, and the never letting anyone tell you that you can't do something type of attitude. From the 199th overall pick in the 2000 NFL Draft to arguably the best quarterback of all time, yeah, I would say that is underdog overcoming the odds. Not to mention he's married to Giselle. And number 1, we've got to go back to basketball, of course. Steve Nash. Small, not overly athletic kid from the middle of nowhere, Canada. Overlooked by basically every college. He got 1 scholarship offer from Santa Clara. No one believed this undersized, mop-top hair kid would do what he did. Became a 2-time MVP and arguably one of the best overall point guards in NBA history. So there you have it, the 3-pointers of the week, the top 3 underdogs. Could have thrown Rudy Rudiger on there, but that's kind of an overplayed one, I think. I'd like to hear your guys' votes, too. Send me what you think and who you think is the top underdogs in your opinion. Teams, players, hit me with the feedback. And what I think is cool about those 3 underdogs is the underlying theme of it all is they never let anybody tell them no. Basically, no one told them that they would be able to play at the level that they did. But did they listen to them? No. Overcoming adversity, grit, and just that self-determination and belief in theirself. Basically to make themselves a better version of themselves every single day. And if they can do it, why can't we all do it? Ask yourself that question. Why not me? Back to the podcast and the rapid fire round. You're about to find out Jeremy's hidden talent, what he would be doing if he wasn't playing in the NBA, the 3 people he would invite to a dinner party, the 1 food he'd be eating if he was stuck on a desert island, the moment he realized, man, I'm in the NBA, and much more behind the scenes Jeremy Lin moments away in the rapid fire round. Here we go. We're going to jump into some rapid fire ones. So you just say whatever comes to the top of your mind. These are the 3-pointers. If you weren't a basketball player, what would you be doing?
I think I'd be doing some type of philanthropy.
Awesome.
I think I really enjoy that. I've always really enjoyed that. And then I'm trying to think.
I mean, you do that with your foundation.
Yeah, but I think I'd be doing it full time because I feel like one of my big regrets is that I don't get to do it full time.
Right.
So
that's cool.
It's difficult.
Then there's your career after basketball. I'll let you.
Yeah, I think that's the only time you'll see me coaching is either my kids or some underprivileged kids who I want them to try to get a scholarship or something to continue their education. But
that's awesome.
Other than that, I probably won't be coaching. Sorry. Thank you.
We'll take second best as consultant. We'll roll with that.
I can be a consultant.
Deal. It's the best term too. Consultant does it. You can't really put like a shell around it, so you can just basically do whatever you want. I'll give you that freedom. If you're doing philanthropy and consulting, I'll give you that freedom. All right. Movie of yourself. Okay, talk me through who's playing you, what genre we got. Give me a little storyline action, a little teaser.
But I have a documentary, so I feel like that's kind of
Yeah, you do have a documentary. I know. That's like a real life one though. We want a Hollywood actor playing you, something like that.
Hollywood actor playing me. I guess he would have to be Asian.
Okay, so who do we got then?
I mean, I think if I could just have one in general, one actor.
Yeah, you can go actor.
Play me, even if it wasn't doesn't have to be Asian. But I just love Denzel's acting. I think Denzel is the greatest.
I'm in total agreement with you.
So,
what's he doing? What's the movie line?
I mean, just my life, I guess.
Yeah. Good point. I guess that is part of he's going to play you. He's probably going to have to do your life, huh?
Yeah.
Like it, man. All right. Everyone knows you as a basketball player. Give me your hidden talent.
My hidden talent, is eating.
I don't even know if that's hidden, man. You are a really talented eater. I'll give you that. Talk to me about it.
I would definitely say my eating is just where I really thrive. I don't know. I'm just good. I'm just a tremendous eater.
Are you saying you could take down Joey Chestnut at the hot dog eating contest?
No, not to that degree. But I feel like I have I feel like I have
stomachs.
A strong capability to be a great leader. I mean, to be a great leader.
You could be a great leader at the dinner table too. I've seen it in action. Let's say, that you are on death row. You're putting your eating game to the test. What's your spread that you are just going to absolutely annihilate?
And
are you cooking it? I know you got cooking skills.
Oh, yeah. No, I probably wouldn't be cooking it.
Good idea.
Because I feel like if it's my last meal, I'm not better than any chef out there. That's just unrealistic.
Yeah.
I would say definitely I would probably want some In-N-Out and some really, really good sushi. I'm big on seafood. I think that those two things I would heavily appreciate.
Man, me too. And whenever you're on death row, let me know. I'm joining you.
Oh, man.
I'll do whatever to get on that row. Okay, who comes first to your mind when you think of the word successful?
I feel like I think of Jordan. Because I think from a standpoint of being really successful from on the court, off the court, he revolutionized a lot of things about like shoes and basketball and all of that. So I definitely think of him, but I also think that like I also think of success in another way of like being a faithful like steward of your calling, I guess.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know.
No, I like that.
He's not the only one.
Yeah, no, I like those answers both. I mean, Jordan was a trendsetter.
There's a lot of people that like are really successful in my eyes that maybe like people won't understand or know who they are. Actually, I just took a trip to like Thailand, and so like I would say like the people that I met out there are extremely successful because like there's so many amazing like local leaders and stuff who are doing like crazy great work out there that like I feel like are extremely successful and like doing what they've been called to do. And like, yeah, I just think that's like, yeah.
I completely agree. That's the best type of success, not necessarily what the world deems as success, but like you're put on this earth for a reason. And when you embrace that passion, I think that's when like you thrive at your most and realize I can be comfortable in my own skin of what I've been called to do. That's cool.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Give me the moment you realized, man, I'm in the NBA.
I think it was probably when like I stole a pass from Kobe and he passed to Derek Fisher, who like, you know, obviously like growing up in California, everybody knew about them. Like they were like when they had like Robert Horry hitting that big shot and all that, like that was kind of like, you know, so stealing that pass at Staples, I was like, dude, you know?
Yeah. Give Kobe a little glance after that. What's up?
No, not even. I was just like, whoa. Like, I was more in shock more than anything. Cool. Like, it was just like, man, for real. Like, I'm here now.
That's cool. That's awesome. Rapid fire rolling. If you could invite 3 guests, dead or alive, to a dinner table, who you got coming?
3 guests. I definitely Paul.
Yep.
Definitely Jesus.
Yep.
And I'm trying to think who my last one would be.
And you're saying the Apostle Paul in the Bible. Just
yeah. Yep. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think who.
I mean, you don't have to invite me. I'll just come regardless because we're on the death row. We're on the death row meal plan, so I'll let this other one slide.
I would say maybe my uncle. That like I have an uncle that I never got a chance to meet.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I would say him because I feel like that'd be pretty cool to be able to like finally have met him.
That's cool, man. That's cool, and it's sushi, gourmet, in and out.
Yeah, definitely sushi. I mean, I could use a nice steak too, or an awesome burger.
Man, sous vide.
Honestly, whatever.
Sous vide. How about that? Go with that. I know you got that.
I'm down with that.
Okay. See, I'm going to your hidden talent. I mean, I like to talk about food as much as possible, so play into your strengths.
You definitely do love food.
Oh, I do love food. We got it's spot dessert, that monkey bread.
Oh.
That will happen when I come back out there. That's a guarantee.
Yeah, that's pretty solid.
Pretty much. Okay. Quotes, mottos that you live by. You have anything that just like you wrote down on your bathroom mirror or put on your ceiling when you woke up in the morning? Anything like that?
I mean, the one thing my mom has always and my dad have always kind of ingrained in me is like, do your best and trust God with the rest. I know it's like pretty cliche, but it's very true in terms of like how I try to live my life. So
that's absolutely perfect, man. I think that's awesome. And then it's not on your shoulders. So it's the plan. It's on him, and he's got the best plan. Love it.
100%.
Okay. Lastly, this has got to be a really, really quick rapid fire answer. You can't think about it. You just got to say yes or no. Who wins in a shooting contest, me or you, putting all your money on the line? What do you got?
You.
Probably not, man. Probably not. Then we play 1-on-1. I wouldn't get a shot off. There you go.
But you win in the shooting contest. That is for sure.
Maybe. All right, man. Hey, tell us, and everybody in the audience how we can learn more about the Jeremy Lin Foundation, how we can all support it. I'm going to have my nonprofit Basketball Life definitely supporting it. So what can we do more to support you, man?
You could go to jeremylinfoundation.org. Or also I did like a campaign with 1 day's wages.
Oh yeah.
And but you know, for the most part, everything that you need to find, you can find on jeremylinfoundation.org.
Perfect. And we'll link to all this in the show notes for sure. And how can the listeners follow you? Everything that you're doing, social media, all that.
For the most part, all my tags are like Jalen7. For the most part, yeah. I think so.
And how can everybody keep up on your latest hairstyle? Are they able to see what's coming next?
No, you can't see what's coming next, but what's coming next you probably won't appreciate.
I might have an idea. If it's what I'm thinking, it might have an idea.
I think I told you what I was doing.
Yeah. Not a comb over. You're not following my steps, huh?
Not a comb over,
okay,
no.
Whatever. Hey, man, really appreciate you coming on. Awesome stuff. Everybody, Jeremy's literally, just who he sounds like he is, like the best guy, I think, in the NBA as far as a leader, as far as a role model for kids, living for Christ and just working his butt off. And he's a true testament to that's what happens when you work your butt off consistently and trust in his greater plan. So, man, really appreciate you coming on.
No, I appreciate it. Appreciate your podcast and your time.
Thanks,
as well.
Man. All right, cool. Well, let you get running, and we'll see you soon.
Sounds good.
All right, man. See you.
All right, later.
How awesome was that? I told you, Jeremy is just an all-around high-level character person. The epitome of the perfect role model for any kid out there, in my opinion. For any person out there, for that matter. Perseverance and trust and faith in the Lord, and I'll tell you what, you can do basically anything. And Jeremy is living proof of exactly that. Check out everything he is doing, support his foundation, just join in on Jeremy's passion of helping to give back and genuinely making this world a better place. And I know it sounds cliche to say that, but man, Jeremy's motivation that we all can do our part, as small as it might be, but no matter how small our part is, it all adds up in the grand scheme. All right, I got to talk to you really quick about a foundation that Jeremy is very passionate about and supports, 1 day's wages. What they're doing is they're impacting communities throughout the world in the fight to end extreme poverty, helping improve child health, children's education, gender-based violence, girls' empowerment, human trafficking, hunger, job skills, mental health, preventable diseases, and providing water. So check out 1 day's wages at onedayswages.org and find out how you can help, making an impact one community and one story at a time. I also want to thank Jeremy's team, his support team, everybody behind the scenes working for him and working with him. From his people running the marketing, his manager, agent, and his trainer every day, Josh, who's a really good friend of mine and he's a really genuine, great person and a very high-level basketball mind, which I'm sure Jeremy would attest to is a lot of the reason for his success as well. Thank you for being on here with me and listening. And I'd love to hear back from all of you out there. Seriously, hit me. Give me feedback on how we can keep making this podcast better. Topics you guys want me to focus on. Any high-level performers out there you think I should bring on, just let me know and we'll get them on. One of these episodes, too, coming up here soon, I know I'll be talking about it, we'll do an audience question and answer. I think it'll be a lot of fun. And you know what? The coolest thing about this podcast, it's not just me talking to you, it's us talking together. We're basically hanging around the campfire, roasting some marshmallows, making us some s'mores, listening to someone play the guitar that really isn't very good at it, but we act like they are. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Anyways, what I'm saying is we're family, Game of Life family. And thank you so much for listening and making this all possible. So until next week, hope you all have a great week. And remember, it's all about the journey. David Nurse, Game of Life, signing off.